Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our lunchtime Thursday yoga session. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a total body yoga workout flow. So for today's class, I'd like you to make sure that you have a strap available. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or you can use one of these small gym towels that you can just wind up and use as a strap replacement. You can also use stockings if you have a pair of stockings, but I like using a belt the best because I just feel like it really gives you that strong hold. So we're going to be using that a little bit later. Hi guys, welcome. We don't really need our books or our bolsters today. We're going to be doing a bit of a total body session. So we're going to start off by doing a seated warm-up. So no sun salutations today. If you're like me, then you guys are probably planning to run and cycle outside tomorrow. So today is a little bit about just prepping the body for the rest of the exercise that we want to get done this weekend. So it's just a bit of a loosener for the spine, shaking out and getting rid of all the little tight spots and tension that we might be holding onto or storing from the week that we've had. Our very short, long week. Still feels long to me. So we're going to begin by seating ourselves on the mat. So you can just seat yourself in the center of the mat, legs crossed. And we're going to just begin by resting the hands in the lap gently, or you can rest them over the knees and just shrug the shoulders all the way up to the ears. So just creating that nice little scrunching motion of the shoulders. And then as you exhale, roll them back and all the way down. Let's do one more as we inhale, lifting the shoulders all the way up to the ears. And as we exhale, rounding them back and down. Now we're going to just do a little bit of warming up for the neck. So as we inhale, we look up towards the ceiling, feeling that nice opening in the front of the throat. And as we exhale, look all the way down, bringing the chin to meet the chest. So we feel the stretch now in the back of the neck. As we inhale, let's look up one more time, all the way up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, bring that chin down to meet the chest. As we inhale, we come up for a neutral neck. And as we exhale, we turn to look over the right shoulder. So now we're feeling the stretch in the side of the neck. So a little bit of a twist for the top part of the spine. As we inhale, we come back through to center. And gently exhale now, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Now bring your ear down to meet that right shoulder. So now we're really feeling the stretch opening up on the side of the left of the neck. So we're just trying to reach that right ear towards the right shoulder. We're not collapsing down on the side. It's just a motion of the neck. And as we inhale, come up to center. Exhale, now reach the left ear towards the left shoulder. So very nice, easy warm-up, just loosening up our neck and our shoulders. Sometimes we really store a lot of our stress and tension in those areas. It's nice to just create a little bit of release for that. So let's just give the shoulders a lovely little wiggle. Now, as you might have known from some of the other classes that we do, I've spoken and taken us through our cat and cow postures. So we're going to be doing a seated cat and cow. So the idea here is that your spine still mimics that motion. So as we inhale, we'll reach our head up and look upwards. And as we exhale, we'll create that curvature of the spine and round. So let's begin by placing the hands on the shins. So in that cross-legged position, I'll show you front way and sideways on so you can just see the motion of the spine. So as we inhale, we bring the head down, forward, and then look up. And as we exhale, we reverse the motion round the spine and then lean all the way back so you can feel your feet beginning to lift up off the ground. This is really nice for the shoulders. As we inhale, we come all the way forward again, lifting the head up. So just from a side angle view here. So now inhale, we've come forward, we're lifting up. As we exhale, we round the spine, leaning backwards, looking at the feet, lifting up off the mat. So you can see we've got that cat-like curvature of the spine at the back, stretching the shoulder blades. As we inhale, we rock forward again, come down first, inhale, look up, feel the stretch of the throat in the front. Exhale, round the spine, pull back onto those shins, roll back like you almost might fall back, but you don't because you're holding that rock of the body, so the core is engaged. And inhale, rolling forward, looking up, feeling the stretch in the thighs as well. Exhale, let's round the spine, pull back, holding onto the shins, lifting the feet up off the mat. Feel that curvature, rounding of the shoulders. A nice stretch for the shoulder blades. Inhale, rock forward, roll over and up, look up. Let's exhale one more time. Last rounding, lifting those feet up, leaning back. It's quite fun to play with the body balancing. And as we inhale, we release and come back to a neutral spine. From here, we're going to just begin to stretch open the sides of the body. So let's inhale together, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale now, we're going to create the C shape first on our right side. So exhale, placing that right hand on the mat, and then pressing into the mat to press the body away. We then begin to round over, creating that C shape towards the right, stretching the left side of the body. So we're just here for a couple breaths, feeling that stretch all the way up through to the top of the arm, from the hips. And as we exhale, we release that left hand down. Inhale, lifting both hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale now to place the left hand onto the mat, pressing into the mat to lift your body up and away from the mat, and then curving that right hand over. So we're creating that C shape on the opposite side. So we're not collapsing into the body forward or shrinking down. We're pressing up away. We're curving. We're lifting the chest up. We're feeling the nice stretch on the right side of the body. You can look up towards your hand if you'd like to, or just have a neutral face gazing ahead. Just here for a couple more breaths. And as we exhale, we begin to release that right hand down. Now let's take a deep inhale together, lifting the hands up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, we're going to settle down into our twist. So take the left hand, place it on the outside of the right thigh, the right hand, place it at the base of the spine. So you press into the mat to straighten the spine, elongating the spine. And as you inhale, you lift the chest. And as you exhale, you twist, beginning to look around that right shoulder, looking behind you. With each inhale, lift the chest again. And as you exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper, looking over the shoulder. Stretching the eyes as well. And on your next exhale, just release the arms. Let's give the shoulders a lovely little wiggle. Hi guys, nice to see you joining. Let's inhale as we lift the hands up towards the ceiling, and we exhale to the opposite side. So now the right hand goes on the outside of the left thigh, left hand at the base of the spine. I'm just going to show you a side view as well. So you can see the hand presses into the mat, elongating the spine. And as you inhale, you lift the chest, exhale to twist. So take note of where my hand is. It's pressing quite close against the spine in order to help me elongate my back, so you feel like you're sitting up nice and tall and straight. see if you can twist a little bit deeper on each of your exhales. And on your next exhale, gently release the arms. Give them another shake, shake, shake. Just wiggling out the shoulders. Now we're going to move into our seated forward bend. So again, we lift the hands up towards the ceiling as we take a nice big inhale. And as we exhale, we forward fold, so hinging from the hips, reaching the hands down to the mat. Begin to walk the hands out in front of you as you feel that deep stretch in the thighs and the glutes. And start to find that point of tension where you can't reach your hands forward anymore. And just stay here for a couple moments. Allow the body to surrender into the posture. And we'll see over time, perhaps you can move the fingers forward even a micromillimeter more. So as the body surrenders to the posture, it actually allows for more space. And as your body gets used to the stretch, you can go a little bit deeper into the stretch. So try and reach your head towards the mat. It's not all of us have the same levels of flexibility. So of course, if your head doesn't reach the mat, it's completely fine. If your body is particularly open today and you want to reach your head down towards the mat, you're welcome to do so. We're here for just 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, begin to slowly walk the hands back towards the mat. As you inhale, lift both hands up towards the ceiling. Switch the legs around, so the opposite leg is now in front. And as you exhale, begin to forward fold, hinging from the hips. One more time, reaching out in front of you. So you might notice you're feeling a little bit more tightness on one side than the other. I've got a little bit more tightness on my left side for sure. So just begin to gently reach the hands forward out in front of you. And slowly, when you feel ready, just work the forehead down towards the mat. Doesn't matter, obviously, if you don't touch the mat. The idea is you're just allowing the head to hang loose, taking the strain out of the neck. Take some time to see if you can reach the hands forward a little bit further, even if it's a micromillimeter, just little adjustments, just testing the body. For just 2 more breaths. Very slowly begin to walk the hands back towards your lap. And as you inhale, let's take one big, beautiful breath together, hands up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, you can just release the hands down slightly behind you. We're going to lift up for a stargazer variation. So first, beginning with pressing into the left hand, we're going to then lean into the left shin. So pressing up, sweeping that hand around. The right hand is up, the right foot is up. You're looking up and behind you. As you exhale, we gently release the right leg first, then bring the right hand down. As we inhale, we lift up for the opposite side. So we're going to be leaning on the right hand. So pressing into that right leg and shin, lifting up, lifting the hips up. The left hand curls back behind you. Look up towards that left thumb. Gently exhale as you release, coming down with the left foot and shin, and then releasing the left hand down to the mat. Beautiful work, everyone. From where we are now, we're going to just roll over our knees. So if you're at the front of the mat, move slightly back so that you're in the center of the mat. We're going to roll over the knees and come into our child's pose, which is again a little bit of an opener for the hips, but it's a nice restorative posture. So bring the toes to touch. Keep the knees nice and wide towards the edges of the mat, or wider than hip distance apart. Sit back down onto your ankles first. From here, we try and maintain that connection of the hips to the heels, or sit bones on the heels. So begin to gently come forward, down onto the forearms first, and then extending the arms all the way out in front of you. Gently just rest the forehead on the mat. If it feels comfortable and you'd like to, you can just rotate the head gently from left to right. So it's almost like you're massaging, where you would imagine your third eye would be in the center of the forehead. Remember that in your posture, as much as you're reaching forward, you're also reaching back with the hips, with the sit bones. So we're trying to focus on elongating that spine. Now on your next exhale, I'd like you to bring the elbows back down to the mat, or forearms down to the mat. Bring your hands into that prayer pose and walk the elbows gently forward as you lift the hands and place them at the base of the neck, so at the back of the head. Bring the forehead down again to the mat. What this does is really create a nice deep stretch for the shoulders and for the arms. On your next exhale, you can release the hands down to the mat. Slowly walk yourself up as you inhale and come into that tabletop position. So hands directly beneath the shoulders, knees are directly beneath the hips. So just from a side on position, it's our knees beneath the hips, hands beneath the shoulders. And we're going to move into our thread the needle posture here. Also so great for releasing tension in the upper back as well as the shoulders. So as we inhale, we're going to focus on our right hand, lifting our right hand up towards the ceiling. Let's rotate the wrist 3 times in one direction and then 3 times in the opposite direction, because our wrists also just need some love. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that right hand between the left thigh and left arm, bringing the right temple to the mat. So really extend that right hand out to the left side. And then take the left hand and walk it all the way out forwards. So the arms are creating a perpendicular line. So just to demonstrate the front view. Then for those of you who'd like to take a bind for a slightly deeper shoulder stretch, you're welcome to do so by taking the left hand, swinging it up and around and reaching, so you can see how my hand is reaching here, I'm lifting up to demonstrate, for the inside of my right thigh. On your next exhale, you can release the bind, bringing that left hand beneath the left shoulder. You're then going to lift yourself up with that hand, sweeping the right hand back up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, you bring the hand back down to the mat. So let's begin to set up for the opposite side. This time we inhale and lift the left hand up towards the ceiling. Let's rotate the wrist 3 times in one direction and then 3 times in the opposite direction, before we exhale again to thread the needle on the opposite side. So now you really want to reach that left arm out and extend it as far as you can to the right. Then walk the fingers forward of that right hand and you create that beautiful perpendicular shape with the arms. So my left temple is resting on the mat now. You can feel a really nice deep stretch around the whole shoulder area on the right side, for the upper back as well. And now if you'd like to take a bind like you did on the opposite side, reach that right hand up and around the hip and look for the inside of the left thigh with those fingertips. On your next exhale, you can gently release the hand down, placing the right hand beneath the right shoulder. Press into that hand to lift yourself up, sweeping that left hand up towards the ceiling, and exhale to release the left hand down to the mat. Now we can just take a moment to sit back down onto our heels. We're going to do a few rounds of our, it's a flow that I've taught before in one of the classes, but if you haven't, I'll explain it quite slowly the first time. I call it a down dog plank flow. So instead of a chaturanga, it's a nice way to just warm up the body or break up different parts of the workout. It's also really nice for the spine as it creates a lot of mobility. It stretches out the hamstrings when we do our down dog. It's strengthening for the arms in our high plank, and when we come up into the toes, it's really good and strengthening for the legs and the ankles. So there are 4 parts of the flow, which I'll move into to show you. Hi everyone, new joiners. So how are we going to begin? In our tabletop position, curl the toes so you can lift the knees, exhale, downward facing dog. So this may be the first downward dog that you've done of the day or in a while. So let's just stay here for a couple moments just to stretch out the hamstrings. So you can bend one knee at a time, just feeling the stretch on the back of the legs. The idea with our downward facing dog is that we try and create that beautiful triangle-like shape with the body. We try and reach the chest for the thighs, and it doesn't matter if your ankles aren't touching the mat. Not all of us are able to do that, but we reach the ankles towards the mat. So from here, we come up onto the toes. So you can see how my legs are lifted up, come up onto the toes. So we do that as we inhale, nice and strengthening for the legs and the calves. As we exhale, bend the knees, don't touch the mat, just extend backwards. So you're sitting down towards the heels. My legs are still lifted up off the mat. As we inhale, we shoot forward. Now we're in our high plank. So just a moment here to double check your hand placements. So if your high plank feels a little uncomfortable, just shift your hands. The idea is that we want to find the perfect placement so we're not feeling like we need to move the hands or the feet. So from here, we exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, up onto the toes. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, shoot forward, high plank. So I'm going to just show a full side on demonstration. You can hold your high plank here. There's no reason to drop down yet. All strong athletes. So side view, up in my high plank. We exhale, downward facing dog. Just going to do it the other way around so you can see my feet properly. So downward facing dog. Come up onto the toes, strengthening for the legs. Exhale, sit back down on the heels. See, my legs are not touching the mat. Inhale, shoot forward, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, up on the toes. Exhale, sit down, bend the knees. Do not touch the mat. Inhale, high plank. Let's do 3 more rounds. So exhale, downward facing dog, stretching the hamstrings. Inhale, up onto the toes, strengthening for the legs. Exhale, sit back down. Do not touch the mat with the knees. Inhale, shoot forward, high plank. So just 2 more, we'll do them a little quicker. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, up on the toes. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, up on the toes. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, high plank. Okay, 1 more. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, up on the toes. Exhale to sit back. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Well done, everyone. Just a nice bit of mobility and moving for the spine, a little bit of strength as well. Just preparing our bodies for the outdoor exercise we'll get to do tomorrow. I'm sure you're as excited as I am. So we're going to move into a couple lunges. So just nice for stretching and strengthening the legs. A little bit of warm up for the legs. So back into our tabletop. Curling the toes, lifting the knees, downward facing dog. Now we're going to lift that right foot. So I realize I'm a bit close to the wall here, but bring that right foot forward. So it's between the hands. And we're going to come up first for a low lunge. So drop that back knee. Inhale, lifting the hands up towards the ceiling. And extend forward so that the pelvis is reaching forward, down towards the mat. And just look at the line from my top knee to the bottom knee. We're trying to create a nice straight line. So we're opening the pelvis towards the mat and towards the front. Hands can stay lifted up, nice and strengthening for the shoulders. Just remember to shrug the shoulders away from the ears. From here, we're going to exhale and open up to our right side. So watch my right hand swings down and then up. This is creating a nice little twist for the body. As we inhale, bringing that hand back up, hands to the center. Exhale, opposite side. Now the left hand drops down. Open up to the left side. Inhale, come back up to center. As we exhale now, prayer twist to the right. So watch how my hands come into a prayer-like grip. And then I've placed my left elbow on the outside of my right thigh. Hands are pressed together. Look at how my elbows are forming a line that's perpendicular to the mat. So straight line from the bottom elbow up to the top. And as we do that, we press the hands together, press the body up and away, and feel the twist deepen. So I'm not collapsing down onto the body, I'm pressing up. You can see a gap forming between my chest and my thighs. The idea is that we just want to open the chest, create the space so we can breathe. Most important thing about our yoga practice is our breath. So keep coming back to the breath. We're just here for 2 more breaths, and then we'll release our twist. And exhale, place the hands back down onto the mat. One hand on the outside of the foot. Curl the back toe, lift that back knee. You can sweep the foot back so that you're in your high plank position. Now from here, let's bring the opposite leg forward. So left foot in between the hands, dropping the back knee, releasing the foot. So low lunge on the opposite side. As we inhale, we come up. Hands up towards the ceiling. Shrug the shoulders away from the ears. And now let's just open the pelvis a little closer down towards the mat. So just remember, you want your knee directly on top of the ankle. Feel that nice deep stretch for the quad at the back, the groin and that front thigh. From here, we're going to exhale and open first now to the left. So watch as my left hand drops down, round, and sweeps up, creating that twist for the spine. As we inhale, we bring the hands back up towards the ceiling. As we exhale now, the opposite side, releasing the right hand down, sweeping it and up, creating a twist the other side. Nice strong arms and shoulders. Inhale to come back up through to center, and as we exhale, we do that prayer twist now on the opposite side. So hands come together, right elbow on the outside of the left thigh, pressing the hands firmly together, lift the elbow up, so the elbows form a straight line perpendicular to the mat. We're just here for 2 more breaths. And as we exhale, release the hands down to the mat, curl the back toes, lift that back knee, sweep the left foot back so that you're in your high plank. And from here, come down onto the knees, and then allow the whole of the body to come down onto the mat. We're going to set up for our cobra and a few cobra variations. So I'm just going to adjust my mat again slightly to make sure that you can see all of me and what I'm demonstrating. So a bit of 45-degree angle. So now we're down on the mat, feet and legs extended out behind you. The hands are directly beneath the shoulders. So for our first round of cobra, we're going to keep the hands pressed into the mat the whole time. So I'd like you to inhale now and begin to lift yourself up, and lift yourself up as high as you can off the mat. So unlike an upward facing dog, the thighs and knees are pressed into the mat. So this is really great for the spine, for the lower back, especially if you spend a lot of time on your indoor trainer, and now soon a lot of time doing loops on your bicycle outside. It's a nice counter posture for that. You can feel the glutes engaging, so give them a little squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. It's a nice stretch for the abs as well. So if you've been doing some core work, this really stretches the abs out in front. We're just here for 2 more breaths. And as as we exhale, gently come down, bend the arms, allow the body to come all the way down to the mat. So keeping the hands where they are beneath the shoulders. When we lift up the next time, I'd like you to try and lift up as high as you can and release the hands off the mat. So as we inhale, begin to lift, hands up off the mat. So now this is really strengthening for the back. You should feel the back muscles working as you try and lift higher, press the feet into the mats. The feet are not lifted, the legs are not lifted. And we hold here for 2 more breaths. Make that a third one. And release down to the mat. So really nice and strengthening for the back. Now for a third variation, we're going to bring the hands behind, clasp the hands, extend them behind you. So now you're going to use the reach of the hands to help lift the chest up even higher. So like we did, we've got no help, no assistance like the second round. So let's inhale, lift up, extend the hands back behind you, pull, 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 reach, pull, press the feet into the mat, press the legs into the mat, do not lift them up, pull even more, pull more with the hands, lift up a little bit more. Last breath here, and exhale to release, releasing the hands down and arms next to the side. Now for our last stretch here, we're going to bring the feet towards the sit bones. You're going to reach for the outside of each of the feet with your hands. And now we're just going to play with lifting up and kicking back. So just work with what your body's giving you today. The idea is we're going to constantly play with the balance of lifting the chest and lifting the legs. So as we inhale, lift the chest up, kick back, begin to kick back more. As you kick, you'll see the chest lifts. Feel the rotation here from the rolling of the belly. So rolling onto the hips, rolling onto the stomach. Just try and find that point where you can lift up more, kick back more, lift your chest up more, kick back even more. Feel the strengthening of the legs, feel the stretching of the shoulders. Last breath here. And exhale, release, bring everything down to the mat. Beautiful work, everyone. Let's bring our hands back to beneath the shoulders. Press ourselves back up into that tabletop and then sit down. We're going to scooch the legs out in front of us. Time to grab your belt or your strap. We're going to do some last bit of hamstring stretches just to make sure our legs are ready for running tomorrow. So slowly allow yourself to come down onto the mat. Again, I'm just going to adjust my mat so I'm a little bit closer so that you can see everything. Okay, so you can use a belt or stockings or one of these small gym towels. I think I'll demonstrate the gym towel today just to show a difference. So basically, legs extended out in front of you. We're now going to bend the right knee into the chest. So just give it a little squeeze. Then place the foot into that strap or the belt and extend it upwards towards the ceiling. So it's as if you're pressing the foot up against the ceiling. The leg is nice and straight. You can see my bottom leg is also straight and extended out in front. So try and flex the toes towards the face. This just creates a slightly deeper stretch or more intense stretch for the hamstrings. So we're just going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And then when you're ready, try and grasp the strap or belt into the right hand. We're going to bring the right foot now down to the right side. So you can release the left arm down to the left side and gently as you exhale, allow that right leg to drop down to the right. So my shoulder blades are still on the mat. Both my sit bones are still on the mat, hips are into the mat. So we're not rolling our bodies over. We're just creating a stretch here for the leg, but also for the hip area and the groin area. So just extend that left hand all the way out to the left in a T shape. And you can begin to look at that left hand now if that feels comfortable, or you can simply look up towards the ceiling. So just allow that right leg to drop wherever it feels comfortable. For some of us, the foot will reach the floor. For others, maybe it's at a 45-degree angle. It doesn't matter, it just matters that you are working with what your body is allowing you to do today. Feel that nice opening of the pelvis area, bit of the stretch for the inside of the right thigh. And slowly as we inhale, we begin to lift that right foot back up through to center, so you can reach the hand to grab the strap. So both hands are now on the strap again. And then relax the right arm down to the mat. The left hand is holding the strap. Very gently allow that leg to now drop over to the left hand side. So I definitely feel more of a tightness here on the outside of my thigh and my glutes area. Just very slowly soften and allow that leg to drop. Remember to keep both shoulder blades in the mat here. So again, we're not rolling over, we're creating a twist for the lower spine. And a stretch of that hamstring on the right leg. Just breathe through the discomfort. There shouldn't be any searing pain in any of your yoga practice, but it's common that we experience discomfort as our bodies begin to release tension and as they open up, as we work through those tight spots. So try and imagine that you're sending energy to those areas that are feeling tight and uncomfortable, just to ease them. As we inhale, we can reach the hand around as well, lift yourself up, foot back up towards the ceiling. Bend the knee, bring it into the chest, release the strap around that leg and just place it back down onto the mat. As you exhale, you can release that right leg down. Inhale to bring the left leg into the chest, just gripping onto that shin briefly, creating a nice squeeze and compression for the body. Then take your strap, extend the foot up towards the ceiling. So we're flexing the toes towards the face, we're pressing the ankle up towards the ceiling, so that we're creating that deep stretch for the hamstrings here now on the left leg, or whatever opposite leg you are now on. So we're just going to stay here for a few breaths. Make sure that your right leg is just resting, extended out in front of you, flat on the mat. You can see my left leg is straight. So it doesn't matter if your leg is more at this sort of angle, as long as you're keeping your leg straight and you're working with your hamstrings and what your hamstrings are offering you today. Now when you're ready, you can bring that strap more into the right hand, release the left hand, release the right hand down to the mat. And as you exhale, you just allow that leg to drop open now to the left side. So we're keeping both sit bones in the mat, shoulder blades in the mat. And you might find that over the course of just staying in this posture, that gently that foot comes all the way down. Remember to bring your attention back to the breath. Now, as you prepare to inhale to lift that foot back up, you can reach the hand for the strap to help guide that. And now we're releasing the left hand down. We're going to bring that left foot over to the right hand side. So I'm just going to create a little bit more space on the strap. That's why I like using a belt, because it allows a nice length variation. Just gently allow that foot to come down to the right side. Whew. My body's feeling quite tight today from sitting on the indoor trainer. It definitely adds to the tightness around the hips. So if you'd like to, you can look towards the left hand so you feel more of a twist now for the lower spine. Focus on your breathing to help ease the discomfort. And as you inhale, you can gently begin to lift that leg up, reaching the hand for the strap. One last little stretch, ankle towards the ceiling, and then exhale to release, bringing the knee into the chest. So well done, everyone. That was a beautiful practice. Just to finish off, you can bring both knees into the chest and reach the forehead towards the knees. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug of gratitude and appreciation. Showing your body a bit of love today in the practice. And then you can hold onto the shins, roll back up into your seated position. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Have a beautiful Thursday further, and be safe out on the roads tomorrow if you are going riding, if you are going running. And maybe I'll see some of you out there if you're going to be around the Sea Point area. So have a beautiful day, and I will see you again soon.